Jesse, what's up?
Hello,
How you doing?
hello.
It's good. It's been long,
I
and
know.
depressing. Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
All right. So, came in here pretty normally, but after that, I just kind of like lost some faith in humanity there for a bit. But I honestly just came to point out because I don't think I'm gonna get through to either of you. Like Amelia Earhart, Harriet Tubman, Marie Curie discovered radium, polonium, the theory of radioactivity. Queen Elizabeth, she was single during her monarch. She was the most successful leaders in British history, one of them. And Tsukamoto, stem cell isolation, she invented it. Grace Hopper, computer programming. Stephanie Kwolek, Kevlar. Um, Women are people. That you can't make these large generalizations about literally 50% of the world. Like, how do you like just assume that every woman thinks this way and are just you're just making them out to be second class citizens, really. And like, I don't know, just listening has just been a lot, and I would like to converse and not just have like a monologue, because I've heard that and then he goes on his monologue, and I would like to like have a conversation. Rebel.
Noble, you want to go first, or
I don't have anything to
That
say.
was my first. Like, I don't understand how you're like generalizing a tiny little minority, which is like this supposed woman who has like four kids with four different guys, and for some odd reason, none of them are around. Like, none of those guys stuck around to like
so
care for their children.
you're saying there's a tiny bit of 70% of women in America are single moms. America has the highest rate of single moms
Only
throughout the
sixty
entire
percent.
world.
Only 60% of single moms in America are under
So
the age
how's
of
that a
40,
tiny amount?
and then most of the 27%, I think, are divorcees, and like 17% are widowed mothers. So
So as
that
far
narrows
as
it
those
down.
women who are divorced, 70% of women file for divorce. So they chose to be single moms and they chose to be single.
So like, you think like getting out of an abusive relationship or something like that, or just unhealthy parenting, it would be better if y'all were parenting separately.
So all of
That's
those relationships were abusive.
not all of them, obviously. My parents got divorced.
So, like you said earlier, that's only a tiny amount. How
That
many?
that
So,
wait,
how
that
many
is
relationships are abusive that the women got out of?
no. Originally, earlier you said like literally, but women are out here just, not with their husbands or anything, just get having a baby, like bam, having another baby, bam, like, oh, you should have learned. And if you find a woman out there that's got four kids with four different dudes, yeah, I mean, I get that, but that is such a rare and extreme circumstance. I don't understand that kind of argument. It's like, oh yeah, but this like teeny tiny little bit here, this is unethical. So the entire generalization of that entire population of women who have children are now this exact stereotype.
But once again, how many those relationships that the women divorce from are abusive?
I can look up a statistic real quick. Keep talking.
But Jesse, what are your thoughts on him saying that single mothers are for recreational use only? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my god. It's
And
like
real
the guy
quick,
said earlier,
Noble,
the
as far as
privilege.
the general, as far as the generalization thing, if you go on a scale of probabilities, more often than not, you're going to meet the single mother that I talked about than meeting a single mother that does not fit these traits and attributes. If
Wait,
you if
which
you took
traits
a
and
thousand
attributes?
single moms, more than likely, out of 1,000 single moms, at least 900 of them are going to have the same things that I just talked about.
Which are continue.
Yes, there are going to be a couple single moms that this in this little.
Wait, what were the attributes that you were referring to? What is this like hypothetical data you're coming up with?
Rebel, we can't hear you. Rebel, we can't hear you.
And the use of the term recreational is just another way to see women as objects. They're not like fucking going like skiing, okay? Or like having just some fun with them. They're a person. They're a fully developed human being with a brain and a mind and emotions of its own. Like they've got goals, they have a past, they have history, they've got parents. You know, like it's just entirely like crazy to think of this person as just something you can just used to, and the other guy was like used to get better at my future relationships and then just like blow her off whenever, so pretty much just faking like
Rebel, we cannot
everything.
hear you. He about to come back.
Like I don't know, everything I was listening to, everything it comes back to, he said earlier, and I quoted it. um
All right, I'm back.
All right.
all right, so he actually said earlier that men are defined by their accolades and their accomplishments, while women are being defined as pretty much, to sum up what you said, casual sex and reproduction. And like that is just not what women are
I never said
should
casual
be
sex
looking
and
at.
reproduction. I said mainly their inherent value is youth and beauty.
And
And
their
if
children, their ability to bear children.
youth, beauty, ability to bear children, and how many men have they been with?
Okay, so you're talking about youth and beauty, so your attraction to them, how many men they've been with, casual sex, and their ability to reproduce, which is the ability to give birth. So that's exactly what I
Correct.
just said. I just summed it up. That is not okay. Like that is just an extreme generalization put onto women, and that's why women, like all those people that I said earlier, Harriet Tubman, Marie Curie, Elizabeth, like Queen Elizabeth is first, and Tsukunamoto. That's all why these women are so like pushed down. You don't learn about them in school. I know a lot of people that never knew that Harriet Tubman exists, which I thought everybody knew that. I learned that way early, and like it's just it's because like this patriarchal society or whatever has always seen these men, or men made these inventions and stuff, and they push that, and they're like, oh, a woman couldn't do that way back in the fucking 1920s. They were like, oh man, why women can't wear that? Women can't do this. Women aren't smart. Women don't get educated. That's exactly what it was. We only got the like well, I only got the right to vote 100 years ago. Black women didn't get the right to vote until 50 years ago. And I think it's like you're just prolonging these like super white patriarchal society norms like that have been putting down like minorities forever. And it's like it's driving me crazy. Like listening to this live, I've been waiting to get in for, it's at 110 minutes. It's I go. It's shoot, rebel.
So as far as that goes, you women benefit from the patriarchy. You're on a phone
What?
made
What?
by a
It's
man.
called the
Okay,
Patriot.
hold on. We're not here to talk about the patriarchy tonight. We're here to talk about like what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about the comments he made, saying that single mothers are for recreational use only. We are not about to do a deep dive into the patriarchy. Not what we're talking about tonight, Jesse. We're talking about the comments that he made and how you feel about the comments that he made. That's what we're talking
I
about here tonight.
Yeah, it involves when it comes to women and men and our history and the way that women have been suppressed and stuff. It has to do with that. Like, I mean, it's just that's an inherently part of it. Like, I mean, if you want to talk about the grand scheme of things, if I want to talk about this individual person, I'm talking about what caused this mindset of his.
So
Like,
as
I heard
far
him
as
talk about he was okay with like his mother. He lost respect for the men who like would be with his mother because they would be with a single mother. That makes like no sense. What is that about?
Like I explained earlier, any man that knows his value, that has a high value, men typically don't know their value. And any man who subjects himself to a single mother doesn't know his value. He can easily go out and get a woman that is not a single mom.
So I just
And
like
as
all these. Yeah.
And as far as the value for men and women, like I said earlier, the market dictates what is valuable and what is not. And you've seen throughout
Men,
time, throughout
men
history,
dictate the market.
seeing yes, it does. The market dictates the value of whatever it is. If I have a car
No,
and
yeah,
I
but
send it
men
out to the
dictate the
market
market.
and I say my car is $25,000, the market's gonna go, no, I'll give you 5,000. And I go, no, that's you guys are being the patriarch and all that other bull jive. Oh no, it's worth 25. I can say it's worth 25,000 all I want to, all day, all night, twice on Sundays. But the market says it's 5,000, we'll give you 5,000 for it. Take it or leave it. The market throughout history of time, actually go look at all the Eastern countries, right? When you go to Europe, you go to Ukraine, Russia, and
I know
all those other
exactly what you meant to
countries,
say.
right? Single moms, it's damn near a death sentence for a woman to be a single mom out there. Because you know why? There's no government assistance, and the men know their the men know their value, and so they don't even dare wife up a single mom. And I want you to go look at the single mom rates in those countries versus this country.
Well, the single
Because those
mom rate
women know
doesn't
that if they
include.
are a single mom, their value plummets.
Well, yeah, but that's
That
hard to create that idea from that, because if you look at the single mom rates and you just assume that because men have higher value of themselves that they're not doing this, it could also be because men don't care if they have a kid. They'll marry them,
what about
whatever,
the
and
men throughout
they're no
history
longer single mothers. The
that
men
chose
throughout
not to date a
history.
single mom?
So you know, I mean, the single men and the men in history usually sent their daughters were pregnant overseas because it was embarrassing, type shit. But like those
Why
are
was it
also white men.
embarrassing? Why was
Those
it
are
embarrassing to
also,
be a single mom? I
yeah,
thought
I don't,
everybody should love single moms.
because it was
So
like a sin, and like they had like premarital
So
sex.
the men back
Like,
then understood being a single mom would lower their value, but today we don't understand that.
back then we had a lot of things wrong though. They thought the earth was flat. There was slavery. Like, I mean, do you really want to hold the values of like previous like historical monarchs? Like, do you want to hold the same values as like a monarchy that like oppressed its people, that like revolutionized from them, like that kind of stuff? Like, is that
Yes, a
is that
lot of things in history they did get wrong and they weren't right. But to say just to dismiss everything throughout history that got us here would be disingenuous.
Look, I don't expect that you'll ever get a single mom, but like just because the way that you portray yourself. But like in my experience, like, I mean, my mom was single and she started dating a guy, and you know, my parents got divorced and my dad wasn't involved very much, so like we split households and everything. But my mom did most of the taking care of. She also worked most of the time. Their child support wasn't too big, so it was a hardworking mother. And so like, and when she got into a relationship, they knew about the kids, but you know, they tried it out and everything, and he wasn't involved in our life until she it got serious enough to introduce. She did not expect him to pay for us or anything. It was not a like money grab or any of that. It was because they loved each other and they decided to be together and start living together, and that meant that he would be introduced to us, and he's been one of our most prevalent parents growing up. It's totally up to the person, yeah, and if you don't want to be with a single mom, don't get with a single mom, okay? But don't expect to like play that single mom, because that's just horrible. That's just ruthless, and you're using that to like, it's like just sucking the life out of someone for your own advantage. It's just a very unethical thing to do.
So Jesse, do women do women play do women play single fathers the same way?
No, I feel
You
like
said wait.
wait, play them
You
how?
said
How
you
how was how were the
okay,
men playing?
you said you've been here and you've been listening the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you've been listening the whole time, You've heard me say that despite the fact that I don't agree with him saying the whole recreational use thing, and I don't agree with, men looking at women in this manner or women looking at men in this manner, at the end of the day, what a lot of a lot of you do not like to live.
Ooh, it paused.
A lot of you don't like to live in reality. You like to bring up these hypothetical situations that, like, in a perfect world, it should be like this, but we don't live in a perfect world. So we need
No,
to
yeah,
stop bringing up these hypothetical situations. Okay, it's not right for a man to like, be acting like he's liking a single mother and stringing her along, and but he really not trying to be there for the long haul. But women do the same thing. If you've been here and you've been
so
listening,
like,
like you say you
yeah,
have,
no, yeah,
you
I heard
heard me
that guy
say that
earlier,
there
but
are women also that are childless and they date men with children. They are there when it's time to go on dates. They are there when it's time to go on trips. They are there when it's time to sleep with each other. But when that man wants her to, like, actually come into his life and be like stepmama to those kids and stuff like that, she's not interested no more. So this goes both ways, okay? We cannot try to
yeah,
make it
but
seem
I
like
mean,
at the end of the day,
mhm.
again, y'all don't like to accept reality. At the end of the day, this is just a man that is confident and bold enough to actually say how he feels. But not because there's other men that aren't saying how they feel. That does not mean that they don't have this mindset either. A lot of men have this mindset the same way a lot of women have this mindset. It is what it is. We can stop with the hypotheticals in this perfect world. We all know it's not right, but it's happened. It's happening right now, and it's going to continue to happen. You, me, myself, the patriarchy cannot stop it from happening.
No, yeah, okay. So I know what you're talking about, and I'm sure there are women out there like that. But you yourself said earlier that women are the majority single parents. I think it's like 25-30% men, or maybe less than that, men who get custody and stuff. And that's really common in our society, but like, and so it's bound to happen to more women than it is men. It's not that this doesn't happen to men, it's just that in kind of comparison. Also, women have been kind of uh, had have been kind of oppressed by men in history, and so there's kind of that lingering uh, like views in society, and so like it typically happens to women more. Also, that just is the way that works. But like, I think that if you want to get into a relationship and you agree that you're not going to be in the kid's life, tell them that. Like, tell them I don't want to be in this kid's life, so that they can get out. Because like, it's not okay to be doing that. Like, I don't agree with that at all. Even if it happens from women to men.
Okay.
And like, and so like, that's
So can we just so
confusing
can we
someone
just
like that.
ultimately think, can we would it just be easier if people married before, if women married before they carried? Would that just be easier?
Well, a lot of people don't want to get married, or they're
Okay,
they're
so if you don't want to
illegal.
get married, then you're choosing to be a single mother. Then you're leaving the door open to be a single mother.
Like a lot of like my I just don't
Correct.
think that is just like opening you up to be a single mother. If you don't want to get married, don't get married, but it doesn't mean you're any less committed. I mean, like, if a couple can decide, there's a lot of people I know that don't like the idea of marriage because they don't support it unless certain people get it. And so like, if they don't want to get married, they don't want to get married. And also like, but there's a bunch of tax benefits, so a lot of people do. um but it's a consequence of consummating and stuff. But I don't think, I also don't think a woman should be obligated to, you know, carry that baby if she doesn't want to. So that's
We're
kind of,
not talking about abortion right now.
No, no,
I
no,
know,
no, no, no,
yeah.
no, no,
But
no.
like, and so that's another issue with single motherhood, is that normally the dad runs off, or they're kind of stuck there and they have to
So
have
so
it.
the
And so,
woman so the woman doesn't play any. She doesn't have any accountability in doesn't have any accountability.
Did she
Uh,
leave?
no, one of my moms just blocked her.
They
Yeah,
was not trying
guys,
to hear
guys,
that
guys,
bullshit.
listen. We are talking about this topic, okay? We are talking about the comments that this man in the box made, Okay, we are not talking about the patriarchy. We're not talking about abortion. We're not talking about,
Bruh.
women's rights. We are not
Oppression.
talking about that. Okay, if you like, that's just not the topic. That's not the subject today. We are talking about what we are talking about here today. Okay, so let's stay on topic. Don't try to come in here and get us off topic. We're not doing that. We are going to stay on topic. Okay, I didn't even block her. One of my mods blocked her. So
Hey,
let's stay on
to
topic.
whoever blocked her, you a real one.